In the winter of 2010, the world stood still. For one magical month, all eyes turned to the southern tip of Africa, to a nation that had endured, that had overcome, and that was now ready to welcome the world with open arms. This was South Africa. And this was the 2010 FIFA World Cup, a tournament that changed football forever. It wasn't just a competition. It wasn't just about goals and glory. It was a celebration of life, culture, unity, and the unstoppable power of sport. From the sound of the first vuvuzela in Johannesburg to the final whistle in Soccer City, this World Cup was like no other. It was the first ever held on African soil, a continent that had waited decades for its chance to shine on the biggest stage. And when the moment finally came, South Africa delivered something unforgettable. The streets of Cape Town danced to the beat of the drums. The fans painted their faces with pride, and the world watched, amazed, as history unfolded. We witnessed stunning moments. Siphiwe Tshabalala's thunderbolt of a goal in the opening match, the sound of joy echoing through an entire continent. Paul the Octopus, yes, the psychic sea creature, stealing headlines with eerily accurate predictions. The heartbreak of Ghana, just inches away from becoming the first African team to reach the semi-finals. And of course, Spain, the team that defined an era, lifting their first ever World Cup trophy after a tense and unforgettable final. But beyond the football, this tournament gave us more. It gave us hope. It gave us Waka Waka. It gave us unity. Shakira's voice became the soundtrack of the summer, and the spirit of Africa beat through every pass, every tackle, every celebration. And here at Goal Editz, we're taking you back to the drama, the legends, the emotion, and the legacy of the 2010 FIFA World Cup. So before we dive deep into the stories that made this tournament iconic, do us a quick favor. Smash that like button to support our content. Subscribe to Goal Editz if you're passionate about football, nostalgia, and the beautiful stories that make the game what it is. And hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our future episodes, from classic tournaments to forgotten legends and jaw-dropping moments in football history. Because here, football is more than a game. Here, we tell its story the way it deserves to be told. Welcome to Goal Editz. Welcome to the story of the 2010 FIFA World Cup, a tournament that changed everything. The FIFA World Cup had been to nearly every corner of the world, but in 2010, it arrived somewhere it had never been before: Africa. When South Africa was announced as the host of the 2010 tournament, it wasn't just a win for one country, it was a victory for an entire continent. It was a celebration of heritage, rhythm, resistance, and pride. Nelson Mandela, the soul of a nation once divided, stood before the world and smiled. It is an honor for Africa. Billions watched, millions traveled. The atmosphere in South Africa was electric, from the mountains of Cape Town to the bustling streets of Soweto. The stadiums, modern, massive, and magnificent. The people, proud and ready. Africa was no longer just a spectator of the World Cup story, it was writing its own chapter. Before a ball was even kicked, the tone was set. Waka Waka, this time for Africa, became more than a World Cup anthem. It became a global sensation. It was joy, it was rhythm, it was pride in melody. And then there were the vuvuzelas. Love them or hate them, their buzzing sound became the unmistakable soundtrack of the tournament. That deafening drone was the sound of South Africa, loud, passionate, and unforgettable. This was not just a football competition. It was a festival of culture, color, and unity. June 11th, 2010, Soccer City. 84,000 fans packed into the golden calabash-shaped stadium. South Africa versus Mexico. The world was watching. And then it happened. Siphiwe Tshabalala, wearing number 8, bursts down the left side. One touch, two touches. He unleashes a thunderbolt into the top corner. Goal! The stadium explodes. The dance, the roar, the tears. It wasn't just a goal. It was a statement. We are here. We are ready. This is our time. That moment echoed far beyond football. It was history written in real time. The group stage of the 2010 World Cup delivered drama in every corner. France, finalists in 2006, self-destructed in spectacular fashion. Internal fights, walkouts, and humiliation. Their story was not football, it was chaos. Italy, the defending champions, failed to win a single match and exited the tournament in disgrace. England barely scraped through their group after uninspiring performances and endless media pressure. Meanwhile, Germany lit up the tournament with fast, fearless football. Thomas Müller, at just 20 years old, was beginning his breakout on the world stage. But among all of that chaos, one team carried more than just national pride: Ghana. The Black Stars not only played with heart, but with the weight of a continent on their shoulders. They made it out of the group, becoming Africa's last hope. On the other end of the bracket, Spain began to find their rhythm. After a shock defeat to Switzerland, they shifted gears. David Villa's goals, Iniesta's genius, and Xavi's control made them a quiet but dangerous threat. As the tournament reached the knockout stage, things got serious. Heroes were born, giants fell. White cicated Germany versus England, 4-1. A brutal defeat for the English, made worse by the infamous Lampard goal that wasn't given. The ball clearly crossed the line, but it didn't count. It was a moment so controversial, it eventually led to the adoption of goal line technology in football. Netherlands versus Brazil 2-1. Brazil started strong, but the Dutch, led by Wesley Sneijder and Arjen Robben, turned the game around. Brazil, the favorites, were gone. Ghana versus Uruguay, perhaps the most emotional game of the tournament. In extra time, Ghana had a chance to win. A header heading toward the net, Luis Suarez blocked it with his hand. Red card, penalty, Asamoah Gyan stepped up. The continent held its breath, crossbar, heartbreak. Ghana went on to lose the shootout. Africa wept. Spain's journey was unlike any champion before. They didn't blow teams away. They suffocated them. Tactically, mentally, and emotionally. They beat Portugal 1-0. They edged Paraguay 1-0 after a dramatic double penalty save from Casillas. In the semifinal, they faced Germany, the most exciting attacking team of the tournament, and shut them down. Carles Puyol's bullet header sealed it. Spain were in the final, one game away from their first ever World Cup title. July 11th. The world stopped to witness the final. Spain versus Netherlands. The Dutch came in strong, but aggressive, overly so. Nigel de Jong's infamous kung fu kick to Xabi Alonso was just one of many reckless fouls. Yellow cards flew like confetti. It was a war of attrition. But in the 116th minute, a breakthrough. Fabregas to Iniesta, a moment of calm. One touch, one strike. Goal! Spain takes the lead. Iniesta peels off in celebration, revealing a message under his shirt. Dani Jarque, always with us. A tribute to his friend. A moment of humanity amidst chaos. The final whistle blew. Spain, world champions for the first time ever. A golden generation completed their masterpiece. More than a decade later, the echoes of 2010 still live on. Waka Waka still plays at weddings and stadiums. Vuvuzelas still haunt our ears. Tshabalala's goal, Suarez's handball, and Iniesta's strike remain etched in history. But beyond the highlights, South Africa 2010 proved something bigger. That football is truly global. That the World Cup can unite billions. That sport can inspire hope, even in places that have seen pain. South Africa didn't just host the World Cup, they transformed it. Liger Biggie spranging the stretchers and passed. Bing Sin eliminated ism, healthy evidence of Termin can bean. Bless the great goal and Shust of Cave. If this story moved you, if it reminded you why you love football, then you're in the right place. Like this video to help more football fans find it. Subscribe to Goal Editz for more epic football stories, from legends to lost moments. And comment below, what's your most unforgettable 2010 World Cup moment? Because here on Goal Editz, we don't just watch football, we tell its stories, beautifully, emotionally, and powerfully. This was the story of the 2010 FIFA World Cup, the tournament that gave the world a goal, a song, and a soul.